raise it high up the ladder. Let we set it on fire. A little more calypso, forget the funk and the disco. A little more limbo, a little more shango. Kindly greasy pole, and we don't dance round the maypole.
Again, folks, and welcome to We Culture. Yes, indeed, our Friday evening program on K105 FM and GBN Television, Channel 7 and 11. I'm Godfrey Augustine. With me this evening, we have our cultural icon, Mr. Livingston Nelson. He's with us. We also have the cultural ambassador, Finley Jeffrey. And of course, a lady who's been with us for the past 2 weeks. She has been very instrumental in a lot of cultural activities. She's worked with many cultural icons and ambassadors, Miss Reece Sam. Lady, gentlemen, good evening and welcome to We Culture.
Good evening, Godfrey. Good evening to all the other guests there. Good night to everyone. We are here again, one more time.
Yes, indeed. And last week we started our discussion on the issue of getting ready for school. We are in the season for the reopening of school, and we started that discussion, and we didn't get very far. And whether we could get through that this evening again, well, we'd have to wait and see. But there is a lot to talk about. Only this afternoon, a lady was giving me some stories how she had to line up by the tailor in Grenville to get her skirt iron, her pleated skirt. And it's very, very interesting indeed. So I welcome you guys again. It's such a pleasure, and I must happily welcome on board our sponsor for the program, our newest sponsor for the program, Hubbard's. They are the agents for BOP insecticide spray, so we're happy to have them on board. Last week you guys made the call, and the people have heard, and they've decided to rally with us to make the program even better than what it is already. And we are going to continue to work hard to ensure that we dig deep into our cultural heritage and bring out all the wonderful things that we enjoyed, our parents enjoyed, our grandparents enjoyed, and so the people that are coming could enjoy it as well. So again, welcome. Scholar, I just as you were about to make your remarks, I cut you. So let me come back to you, and then we'll go. Of course, we'll leave the best for last. Reece.
I think you cut me. As we say in Calypso, a boss. But thank you very much, Godfrey, for the welcome. As a matter of fact, Livingston said we are guests. I don't think we are guests anymore. Livingston, we are co-hosts.
I agree. I agree.
It's a title that I like.
Well, hear what? A guest living. Hear that? A guest Livingston wrong.
Yes, exactly.
Yes, indeed.
It's always a pleasure to be on this program every Friday. You know, it started for me as fun, but now it has taken a life of its own, really. All over the streets, you know, I've become very popular as a result of that program. Um, you know, this year I didn't feel, you know, sometimes as a Calypsonian, you know when you have a big song, when everybody passing and call you, and so on. And this year, it didn't happen because there was no carnival. But after the carnival, I got myself immersed in this program with Mr. Livingston and Mr. Godfrey. And all of a sudden, people calling me and calling me and calling me. I realized that something is happening. And let me tell you something. You have some fellas at bar me only last week, Saturday. And I realized, you know, every time as a Calypsonian, you sing a song, you just get the name. People just borrow the name of the title of the song. So for months, even now, people that buy me Sita, Boom Boom, and all this kind of, you get those names from the big songs that you write, Belly, and so on. And when I realized men barring me over this last weekday, and calling me condensed milk. And that is when I remember about the mango condensed milk that I speak about, you know. I forgot about that. And fellas asking me, tell them the name of the man. Call the name, you know, the mass again. So I know that we are actually hitting a spot. And I'm so happy for this, and hopefully we'll go from strength to strength.
Yes, indeed. Reece, what has been the reaction?
Well, before I get into the reaction, I just want to say that it's just so strange how I got roped into this, but I'm enjoying it, and it's a pleasure sitting in the company of Mr. Livingston and Scholar and yourself. And it's even an even better pleasure just being the lone female around here too. Feel kind of special about that. So I'm enjoying this and I'm loving it. In terms of the reaction, yes. And hearing it from my GM at work as well, that was a big deal because honestly, I didn't think that he listened to radio so much and all that. So yeah, the feedback has been really good. People have been meeting me on the streets of St. George's as early as Saturday morning, talking about the program, saying that it's a really good thing, that they enjoy it, and they're telling me about things that they spoke about and that they wanted to call in, and you know, when this person said this and this person said that, and you know, you have to entertain it because it's good feedback. It's good to know that the program, people are actually listening to it. So yeah, it's I think you're really hitting the nail, and it's something that needs to be continued. And the topics are, I mean, there's many. I don't see you getting bored or running out of topics anytime soon, because it's we culture.
Oh, definitely. We culture. So last week we started the issue of the school, and we've actually gone into school, as we used to say, school call. School call. That was the thing. School call, and there's this bell that you listen to, and everybody, well, you start scampering because you had to get in the line to line up. And I know Livingston have something special that he wanted to share with us before we actually get into the meat of it. So Livingston, let me go.
Oh, Godfrey, we yeah, well, thank you. You know, actually this week, you know, actually last week, Godfrey, I said to you, boy, I don't believe we have enough material to just deal with the school issue. You know, I'm looking at things. I believe that the whole of September should be school.
Well, let me just butt in. When you tell me that, I call Scholar, I say, Scholar, Livingston tell me find the topic limited, and we bad duck you. I mean, I have to confess now because we say, but wait now. But Livingston had to be crazy. They among that thing. He had to talk about school. I mean, and then we realized we may not even get through this evening. That's the beauty of it. So much.
Definitely, based on what I'm seeing in front of me, we would not get through. Mm-hmm. But Godfrey, I think you and Scholar have a habit of really bad talking me.
No, Scholar started there. You cannot rope me into it.
I know, like, did you enjoying it?
well, how you mean?
Okay, well, I have something I did here, and somehow there are some good names in that. So let me see if I could get through it. And it's basically about first day, first school day. So I woke up very early, excited and yet apprehensive, with the smell of firewood coming from the outside kitchen. My mom issued some command immediately that I should go and get the rabbit vine, change the sheep, fetch 2 buckets of water from the standpipe, get my breakfast of fig blogo and corn sprout, and let my big sister bathe and dress me for school. My new pants and shirt was spread out on the sofa. My big sister gladly did not just bathe me. She scrubbed me down to take all the lacquers and sanitize my body to get rid of the bad perspiration with Gospo. My hair was combed until my skull hot. My feet and skin were no slippers, but that was not a problem because 90% of the boys and most of the girls would be in the same position. The children that had the most problem planting all the toes on the ground were those from Montrose and Apotry. Everybody knew that the pitch road was kicking pin by 10 o'clock. Every man was looking for the shade and the grassy area to walk on during those hours. I left home feeling brand new and important with my new khaki pants and Terylin white shirt. I was looking forward to meet my buff and them. Most importantly, I wanted to see Jillian. Now, she was my girlfriend in Standard 2, and I hope that she's still my girlfriend in Standard 3. As I left the yard, my mind ran back on the last time we were together. I reminisce how I used to bring her best Dunsi mango, red plum we stole from Mr. Franco, and water lemon from Pointville Estate. She often took it without saying thanks, yet I was happy man. Godfrey, Miss Laslin Augustine's son, on the other hand, had offered her one of Miss Jane yellow, red, and red sweets. And she did not take it. That was not her boyfriend. I was happy to see that she had principles. I was thinking how I used to pass by Jillian and touch her shoulder and then run away. She would cuss or look for a stone, but I was too far by that time. By this time, I passed Miss Lara Sharp going to the school, but my mind thinking about last standard when we little boys were catching flowers from the Cox tree. Well, once Jillian was there, I was jumping high, showing off with my athleticism. I was in sight of the school now when I saw my good friend Godfrey Augustine ahead of me. He had on a white pig nose and the khaki pants I ever saw. But my mind flashed back on when he and Susan created scandal in the school. It started with me, of course. I got bold and brave, and I wrote on the love leaf, Jillian, I love you. I hid it in the center of my royal reader, waiting for the letters to heal and grow. Godfrey never accustomed going into my bag, but did so when I was not around and found my letter. Well, Bessie was discovered by Weebs, the radio station. Everybody knew that Godfrey had some mischief in him. But my good friend Susan said to him, Godfrey, you too shit up, man. It was there and then the thing started. Now, Susan was my good friend and the only child coming from Paradise. Her mother was a baker called Miss Mary Zoon. Children say Susan beat up a big man one day in Paradise Street. She often had sugar cake, buns, and drops that she stole from her mother bakery to bring for us, but in particular me. Wait now, and just so the bell ring, next time, you will know about the scandal. Let us continue.
Godfrey, how you fast so?
The man lying me boy. Score, you don't believe that, right?
Nah, I believe that. I believe the man.
I have a question.
Scholar with all the details. All the details.
My liars met, pay attention to details. but this narrative, yeah, it crystallizes the whole thing, and it brings back so much memories.
Oh yes.
So much memories.
Right.
I mean, girlfriend was who watch you, who suck mango with you.
We bring mango for, and they
Yeah,
take
oh, we
it.
bring mango for. I mean, so many things, so many things there. And you know, I forgot the leaf with the I love you.
They love, yes.
Yes, you're right. You put your I love you on and so on. Excellent, excellent.
Indeed,
I
indeed.
have a question though.
Go ahead.
I want to know where Jillian is in this modern day scenario now. Where's Jillian?
Livingston, what Jillian?
But usually, you know, when at that stage and age when they were a girl, when you meet them 15 years, they play. What wrong with you, boy? No, they study you like they never remember now.
Actually, I think it was maybe last week. I actually came across her on Facebook.
Yes.
Yeah. I think she I know they were in, was it St. Croix? They migrated to. Yes.
Actually, she was here last year for the Salaka, River Sally, and of course, you know, we were able to meet and chat and stuff like that. But you know, some of the stories has been a little bit, you know, polished. But yeah.
This scholar, I'm telling him a lie. I'm telling him a lie. But anyway.
That's the man word for lie, you know, polished.
Anyway, folks. So Monday morning. It is Monday morning. And as Livingston said, going on with the khaki pants, Sterling shirt, and the bell is going to ring. Scholar, what happened to you then? So you're walking up to Shantimel School.
Right. Before I go into that, I want to ask Livingston a question, because I realize he spoke about the not having any shoes, which was a customary thing. But when you didn't have any shoes, what you all used to say you have on the ground? 10 Commandments?
Ten Commandments came in late, yeah, in my vocabulary. To my hearing, 10 Commandments came in late. I heard it later in life. But basically, we just used to say 10 toes. I don't know, Godfrey, we used to hear 10 Commandments?
Yeah, I think so. I think we did. It's been around a while. You have all the 10 Commandments on the ground.
The 10 Commandments on the ground.
Mm-hmm.
That's how we knew it. That's how we knew it. But Godfrey, let me say this. I am in the unique position where I schooled for all the years that I schooled, and then straight from schooling, I came to teach, and I taught for a number of years. So I've seen cultural changes in schools firsthand, really. And so I can tell you about what happened during my day and how the graduations and so on took place and how things evolved. So for instance, first day of school, and if you're speaking about first day of school, first day, not first day of a new school year.
First day of school.
First time, because I did not go to no little children. Pre-primary, we didn't have that.
Right.
So my first bout was in primary school.
Right.
And you enter into something called ABC.
That's right.
Right? No, these days they have nice sexy name for kindergarten. And really we don't say kindergarten, we say kindergarten. I never knew it was kindergarten until not long ago. I thought it was kindergarten. But anyway. So you enter into ABC, right? As a little boy. Now, ABC in itself was an event in itself, because when you entered into ABC, you were labeled, yeah, and you were made fun of. So children called you ABC Sprat. That was the name, and they even had a little song. Livingston, remember the song for ABC children?
Off the back, no.
I don't remember the song.
ABC Sprat catch a rat. When you're ready, let it go.
Let it go, he said. and his heckle, you get him straight. Yeah, that time he was a little thing, and he was ABC Sprat. And this is kind of like the difference between now and in the past.
Mm-hmm.
Because that sort of always rubbed off on us. It fell off like Kalalu, water on Kalalu leaf. We didn't take that. To me, that was all part of the toughening up thing. And successive ABC children got the same kind of heckling as they came on. You know, no, you can't do that. Because as you go to college children, this kind of thing.
For bullying.
Yes,
bullying
you're a bully.
Right? In our days, and I have something as we go on, probability, I could really expound on this. Now, when you enter the ABC, we wrote with slates. That was the first thing. And I think we mentioned that last week.
We mentioned about slate, yes.
Slate, for those who don't know, is a miniature blackboard. Everybody get a little blackboard, and that's what you wrote with. And then you graduated into half an exercise.
That's right.
One exercise, cut it in half, and then they cut the pencil and them in half too, because mind you, they don't cut the pencil in half. Two the pencil finishing, because the children like to sharpen the pencil.
And what about the rubber? They used to bite on the rubber?
Well, the rubber don't last another shiver ice in hell. I mean, two and the rubber done, right? And the exercises, the exercise was double line exercise. Those days, they paid more attention to your penmanship, right? So they wanted you to be able to write and to be able to write skillfully. And so and then in ABC, when you were in ABC, you had a way of singing everything. ABC taught us to sing a lot of things.
Yes.
So everything that you're doing is sing. You did it. I mean, you 1 not 10, 1 11, and you sing. Even when somebody interfere with you and you're going to tell, singing, you're singing.
What about your tables? You had to sing the tables still on it,
You had to sing the tables. Well, in ABC, you don't reach the tables yet, but even actually about singing. Now, one other thing before I break off. In terms, and that's a difference between now and then. Now we started in ABC, and then we had stage 1, stage 2. ABC was stage 1, stage 2, stage 3, then standard 1, standard 2, right? Probably to about standard 8, right? Now we have grades and we have all kind of funny distinctions and so on. But that's how we knew those things. And in those days, skipping was a big part of school. Children got skipped all the time.
That's right.
I know I got skipped. As a matter of fact, I get skipped until I take skip from my own self. I leave from ABC, I got into stage 3. And then from stage 3, I was supposed to go into standard 1. But standard 1 had a teacher they called me Sergeant. I feared Miss Sergeant. I didn't have to go by Miss Sergeant at all. But standard 1 and standard 2 was in the same room. So I ended up in standard 2, but I got standard 2 and a fella they called Mr. Duncan. A nice guy, I like the man. So I ended up in standard 2 by default. I sit down there, nobody had moved me and put me back by Miss Sergeant. So I skipped myself from stage. But anyway, so I'll stop with this for the time being, and
right. So we need to take a quick lotto break, and when we come back, there is something I need to refer you guys to on the first day of school, and then we'll go to Reece. So stay with us, folks. We'll be back with you in just a moment.
I'm a winner.
Imagine winning $25,000 and up to 6 times by scratching just one lotto ticket. Get your triple cash scratch tickets for a chance to live your best life. Win easy with Scratch. For just $3, match any of your numbers to any of the winning numbers and win the prize shown for that number. Reveal a money back symbol and win the prize instantly. Triple cash scratch in stores now. Must be 18 or older to play.
Cause I'm a winner. From the moment that I get up, I'm feeling right.
Good evening, viewers and listeners. Welcome to the National Lotteries Authority's Daily Pick 3 Evening Draw for today, Friday, September 4th, 2020. I am Anisha Charles. With me this evening is Ms. Makiba Bain from PKF Accountants and Business Advisors, whose purpose is to ensure that this show is conducted in an accountable manner, and the game balls with industry standards and in a way stamped with. At this time, your tickets ready. It's Daily Pick 3. It pays to play. Good luck. This evening is check your tickets in the meantime. First number up is 1, second number is 3, third and final number. Final number is 1. Let's recap those numbers on the screen. First number up is 1, the second 3, third and final is 1. So that's 1, 3 and 1. Congratulations to all winners. Stay tuned, get your daily cash flow drop next. We'll see you soon.
Tick, tock, toe. I win.
Feel like a big kid again when you play NLA's new scratch game, Tic-Tac-Toe. It's instant cash on the go. Reveal 3 X's or 3 O's in the same row, column, or diagonally, and win the prizes shown, or as much as $5,000. Win easy with Scratch. Must be 18 or older to play. Tic-Tac-Toe, please.
Give me a tic-tac-toe, please.
Tic-Tac-Toe, please.
Welcome back, everyone, to another Daily Cash for Evening Draw for today, Friday, September 4th, 2020. I am Anisha Charles. With me again is Ms. Makiba Bain from PKF Accountants and Business Advisors, whose purpose is to ensure that this show is conducted in an accountable manner, and the game balls with industry standards and in no way tampered with. At this time, your tickets ready. It's Daily Cash for more plays, bigger prizes. Let's find out what this evening's winning numbers will be. Good luck. This evening is check your tickets in the meantime. First number up is 3, second number is 4, third number up, third number is 2, fourth and final number is 5. Okay, let's recap those numbers. Numbers on the screen. First number up is 3, the second 4, third 2, fourth and final is 5. So that's 3, 4, 2 and 5. Congratulations to all winners. Stay tuned, get your play we drop next. We'll see you soon.
Win more with the NLA's Daily Cash 4 every day with more plays and bigger prizes to be won. It's a 4-digit game with all the bet types you already know and much, much more. From 0000 to 9999. Choose your 4 numbers and place your bet from 11 different bet types. Choose from inline, 4 different mixes, first 3, last 3, and 4 different backup options too. Best of all, it starts at just $1, except for backups, which starts at $2. Win as much as $5,000 with a $1 inline bet and as much as $6,200 in a $2 backup bet. Imagine $50,000 for a winning $10 inline bet. There's definitely more to win with the Daily Cash 4. More plays, bigger prizes, twice per day, Mondays to Saturdays. Must be 18 and over to participate. NLA, making your dreams come true while supporting sports, culture, and nation building.
Welcome back, everyone, to another Playway Evening Draw for today, Friday, September 4th, 2020. I am Anisha Charles. With me again is Ms. Makiba Bain from PKF Accountants and Business Advisors, whose purpose is to ensure that this show is conducted in an accountable manner, and the game balls with industry standards and in no way tampered with. Let's play Playway, value your dreams, and win your way. Good luck. This evening's winning Playway number is, check your tickets. today's winning player number is 17. Let's recap the number: 1717. 17 represents dream symbol mongoose. Congratulations all the winners of this evening's player draw. Tune in later on for the lotto draw. This evening we're playing for a jackpot of $246,000. We'll see you then.
Get high making money moves with the NLA's new Aces High Scratch game with 4 chances to win. Beat the dealer's card to win the prize shown. Reveal an A symbol. And just like that, you are automatically a winner. Scratch away to win the top prize of $10,000. Win easy with Scratch. Must be 18 or older to play.
Groceries for 1 year when you shop at the food fair. Up to $8,400 in groceries. Every $50 spent between June 15th and September 30th gives you the opportunity to enter into the grand prize draw for October 9th, 2020. Third prize, free groceries for 3 months. Second prize, free groceries for 6 months. And the grand prize, free groceries every month for 1 year. There will be exciting giveaways monthly. Food fair, where you can fill your baskets without emptying your pockets. This promotion is sponsored by Food Fair Supermarket, Dutch Lady, Chief, Promo, Danny, and Supreme. Social distancing and hygienic protocols will be maintained at all times.
Please be advised that post-appointment premium or PAP refunds are now ready to be distributed to qualifying former policyholders or FPHs. Premiums to be refunded comprise those in respect of health policies, premiums received after June 18, 2011, life policies, premiums received after surrendered dates or lapsed dates, property policies, premiums received after May 1st, 2010. Please call or email to ascertain whether you qualify for payment. Persons who do not qualify under this phase of refunds shall not be entertained. Payment of these refunds will be made by check during the period of August 10th, 2020 to September 11th, 2020. Payment under the sum of 20 Eastern Caribbean dollars will be paid via cash. Checks can be collected from the BICO office on Yonge Street, St. George's during the hours of 9 a.m. and 4:30 p.m. All FPH are asked to walk with proper identification, for example, national ID, driver's license, or passport, when presenting themselves for payment. Representatives of claimants should present, in addition to their own ID, a notarized letter of authorization from the FPH, a notarized copy of the FPH's ID. Executors of wills should also present notarized copies confirming their standing as executors. If you have any questions, please contact the Judicial Manager on 473-444-5801 or 784-456-2669. or email ruben.john@bdoecc.com. Please note that all COVID-19 health protocols must be adhered when collecting payments.
Hills and Valley Med Care Center, located on Grenville Street, St. George's, has a highly professional team that gives excellent service in massage therapy, physiotherapy, speech therapy, medical consultation, and more. Hills and Valley Med Care Center sells a wide range of medical supplies, offers home visits for patients in Grenada and Carriacou, and opens Monday to Saturday, 10 a.m. through to 7 p.m. Visit or call Hills and Valley Med Care Center today, 435-6904.
Raise it high up the ladder, let we set it on fire. A little more calypso, forget the fountain, the disco. A little more limbo, a little more shango. Find the greasy pole, and we don't dance round the maple.
Welcome back, folks. It's We Culture, and we are talking this evening, as a matter of fact, continuing from last week, as it relates to our school days. Before we went to the break, I did say I had to remind you guys of something. Now, on the first day of school, and so the children who were already in school, and there was a set who were just coming in, and Scholar made mention of ABC. Now, one of the things that was very, very striking, and you never missed on the first day of school, was a lot of crying.
Okay.
You remember the ABC children, when their parents dropped them, now they bawling for about half of the day. Sometimes that happened for a couple of days well, until they settled down and, they start to make friends and all of that,
Right,
so,
right.
Reece, let me bring you in now. You have not said much yet. So, first day of school, you remember what it was like for you?
Yes, and I can go back as far as what would have been preschool, kindergarten.
ABC?
No, kindergarten.
All right.
They call it kindergarten, which is now what they call preschool.
Oh, so that's before ABC?
Yes. It was called kindergarten, and it was optional. You didn't have to go to kindergarten.
Okay.
And there was only one of that type of school in Guelph at the time, and it was linked to the Catholic school, the Roman Catholic school. So I got the opportunity to go there. And I could vividly remember what the first day was like. I was very eager. I was happy to go to school. I can't say that for primary school. Primary school was a different story. I was one of the criers, but I didn't cry at school. I cried at home. And I remember we were living in a place that they call Shantytown in Guelph. And I can remember every morning I am crying. I don't want to go to school. And mommy got so vexed one day. You have those kind of houses, and then they have the up and the bottom and the top door, and it opens out.
Mm-hmm.
I remember, little girl, I'm standing outside the door, and she's sitting in front there doing something. I think she was washing. And she got so mad, she pulled her cutlass, and she slammed it against the door, and never cried after that. I went to school every day. No problem. But at what we call kindergarten, I remember the swings inside of, not the swing, the ladder, the rope ladders that went all the way up to the roof. We used to be able to climb this. We had so much rest time. There was this cockfight tree outside in the yard that we used to go. It was such an amazing thing, just being able to pick up as much of the cockfight, they call it. Those little round things that come off the tree. I don't know if it's called cockfight.
Cocks. That's from the flamboyant tree?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's cocks. We used to call it cocks, Livingston. Yeah, the cocks. You're playing cocks.
So there was a big tree like that in the yard, and we used to go outside and pick up all these little balls and throw it against each other and stuff like that. But then I remember the PRA milk. I hated that milk. It looked oily. When you see it in that cup, it looked oily. And when you drank it, it was all over your lip here, like the Got Milk ad. And that used to upset me. Every time they gave me a cup of milk, it was horrors. There was no rest time for Reece because Reece is not drinking that milk. Now, to eat it with sugar, milk and sugar, yes. But the cup of warm milk, that didn't used to go down with me at all. And yes, from kindergarten, that would have been like the Catholic school. I got moved now to the Anglican school where I started ABC, which was stage 1. Never forget, there was a teacher named Teacher Phyllis from Victoria. She died a couple of years now. She was the main teacher there. Very nice lady. The skipping that Scholar spoke about, I got skipped from ABC to Standard 1. And then when I did Standard 1, they wanted to skip me to Standard 3. But my father said, no, I didn't like that. kind of like the idea of being skipped. You finish school earlier, you know? I remember also the lining up outside of the Anglican school. And you know, the Anglican school was built by the Canadian government, which I think there's a school in St. Patrick that was built by the Canadian government as well. Is it the one close to Leapers Hill, I think?
Scholar would be able to help us here.
If you understand the structure, if you know the structure of that school, it's very similar. So there's this little sidewalk kind of thing against the school with big drains and all of that. And we used to have to line up there to get mouthwash. They used to give us a mouthwash in those little cups. And we used to have to line up also for the houses. And at the Anglican school, when I started, there was no yellow house. Yellow house was new. We had red, yellow, green, and white. Yellow house was a new thing, you know, and I often talk to the children about that, and it's kind of like white, but that's not a color. So, you know, but yes, we had a white house. I mean, first day you were all neat, white shirt, well-pleated skirt, your Chinese shoes with your socks. If you have shoes and socks, you had to wear that button of your house on your shirt. And I think when I started school, every year we used to be changed. We weren't in a constant house throughout the school life. There used to be some changing until it became permanent. So I remember being in white house, blue house. I never got a green, I got a red. You know, but I mean, those were really nice days. When you enter the Anglican school, there's a big mirror. That mirror is still there up to this day. We used to go and stand up there and look at ourselves before we go upstairs. Everybody fighting to get into the mirror. You know, there was a library that, I don't know, but something about that library, it almost seemed like it was privileged to be able to enter that library. I don't know if it's a tutor that was so strict, I don't know, but getting to go to the library seemed like it had so many rules that I don't think I ever really got to go to the library. These are things that I remember. I remember also when the dental program used to have a nurse and doctors coming into the school very early in the term to check your teeth. They used to give you a toothbrush and some toothpaste. There was I remember the toothpaste used to have like a tooth that looked like a man on it. And, you know, we used to gladly go home with our toothpaste and our extra toothbrush. And that's the first time I knew about dental floss. When they come, they used to give us dental floss too, and you're flossing, you know? So, I mean, there's a lot of childhood memories when it comes to school, especially the primary school too. That home economics class that we look forward to, home ec, boys and girls, you get to scramble your first egg. You know, you get to make scones. Never made it after that. I grew up as a vegetarian, so a lot of the things that we were making, I wasn't allowed to eat. I couldn't eat it, but you know, you brought it home to show that you actually did
something.
Yes.
Now you mentioned Reece, about this mirror, and boys had their own mirrors. Scholar, you remember how the boys had their own little mirrors in school? In fact, we used to walk with our own mirror.
We used to walk with the mirrors, but the mirrors was for wickedness. I remember we wicked mirror, boy. You tight mirror.
I don't know if Livingston remember. And coming from Carnival, of course. I mean,
on your foot, on your shoes, and your slippers, and you stand up. You stand up by the girls.
Wow, mischief. I think that happens even up to today, you know.
We had our mischief mirrors.
That's not too long ago.
Well, I don't know, but
I remember it from way back.
I'm not sure Livingston do that.
Yeah, Godfrey.
Do that, Livingston?
Godfrey. No, I never did that. Going back to holidays, going to school. You know, people at that time, I mean, in our childhood, remember people coming to school, most of them have one exercise book. Most children will have one book or sometimes two, but most a lot of the children coming to school would have only one exercise book. And then we used to have what we call some of them dongori bag.
Yeah.
Bag made of dongori or sometimes from the same khaki pants. I was talking to a young man just trying to explore what he did because he was older than me. And he mentioned he went to school with a jola.
Yes.
I thought jola was only for the farmers. And he said, no, he went to school with a jola because his father was very much on the estate. And, you know, one of the things that was typical, firstly, everybody looking for something to pick on you. So we were all looking around to see who had neat khaki pants, iron khaki pants, who had good white shirt. You know, because generally people came to school well groomed in the first day, and in particular in the first week, but in particular on the first day, well groomed. So that to me, in these holidays, like those first days, was basically we had those things in them that kind of united us as one. And it's around that time a lot of false name emerged because Scholar kind of hinted on it, but in school it was always teasing. It was always false name. It was always looking for somebody. I mean, the person that told me about the Jola, let me see if I can remember the story. His name was Ivan Bola. So he said the children would come and say, Ivan Bola, come with a Jola, went to Moya to look for a cola. So
yeah, there was this always rhyming thing.
And he said, of course, because he had a Jola, that immediately meant that when children started teasing him, that used to be fight. I remember a young man again that came to school and his children used to tease, P for pipe, P for pipey. So when you close and they don't want to tease you, and they don't want to say the full name, they would say P for pipe. And you're watching, you know what is coming, but then they're holding it back. So this holidays, when you know, when I think Scala hinted, the kind of the tease, the kind of grounding, the kind of orientation that we got as little boys, in particularly in school days, and all the people used to always look at the kind of food you bring, and based on what you bring, they would label you. And next thing that probably we mostly when in these days when people went to school with lunch or with meals. For us living close by, we'd run home and eat something.
Yes, you go home. You go home for lunch and you come back.
Yeah.
But you know, I was told that the clean pan, well, milk, but the clean. So the parents would buy the clean, the big tin of clean. They would cut off the pan part, use the plastic cover that, and that children use that to go to school, and that was the lunch. That was the container.
Mm-hmm.
Later on, as it developed, people went with carrier, 3 stand, 4 stand, 5 stand, carrier. So if you go back to the days, that is what it used to be. And fruits, the kind of fruits that we had was basically abundant. You know, everybody had something to share, everybody had something to bring. So I thought I just wanted to go back to show that these holidays, and particularly the first day, you look good because you're well oiled. You know, your foot had to look good. Your teeth was brushed.
And your nice trim with your muff and your pat on the side.
And listen, whether you might people like me, when they comb my hair home, you know, a little breeze passing it. The teacher is on the step, particularly first day with a fine tooth comb or something, an afro comb, and they would make sure that your hair is combed properly. So the teachers used to be those early inspectors. Everybody that came to the line or going up to the classroom or being thoroughly examined. For a matter of fact, some of them used to make sure they green, look at your teeth.
Yeah, hygiene was a big thing in those days. Hygiene, they would watch your fingernails, everything.
Fingernails, yes.
Yeah, definitely indeed. But you know, in school, getting into class and everything, you had favorites. There's a teacher that you probably like, and there's always a favorite child that the teacher goes send somewhere and all kind of thing. Yeah. And someone was telling me this week, there was a gentleman, and moving from the countryside now into town, there's a gentleman called Mr. Roberts. I don't know him, but I heard a lot about him. he used to be what was called a truancy officer. And if he used to go around wearing khaki, and if you were caught not going to school, well, I mean, I don't know what used to happen, but from what I learned, children were scared of him. He was a serious gentleman. So he made sure that children were in school. And that was a big thing then, you know, children going to school. Now, as time went by, you walk and you see school is supposed to be on and children by the road sitting down, and, you know, you see how the things sort of broke down. I don't know how it was for your scholar in St. Patrick. Were there any officers or police officers going around making sure children were in school?
I think there were people who made sure that children were in school. But in those days as well, parents were bad. So children didn't dare not go to school. As a matter of fact, if you ain't going to school, you have to do it under some kind of false pretense. You can't go to school. Parents insisted on that, especially parents who themselves did not go to school and did not take school. They ain't joking for this thing, right? So really, we didn't have, there was no need really for these truancy people to a certain extent, but I think that they were. There's one thing that Livingston said that I wanted to kind of piggyback on as well. He spoke of the teasing and so on. And this was a feature, I don't know, and I wish we could have gotten somebody who would have went to school in St. George's, because that was also a feature of my school days. But I'm from St. Patrick's. You guys are from almost from St. Patrick's as well, right? But that was a feature of my school days as well. The teasing. Livingston, you know, the children used to give something they call phrase. You know his phrase?
Yeah.
Phrase, right? And where you say all kind of derogatory thing about you and the mother and all kind of thing. And you have to stay there and take it. And you have some children, once you hear a man start to say, not me mother, you know, I trouble. I trouble. Can't take. But all of that, to me, was part of the seasoning of making you toughening you, right? Yes. And you settle disputes with hand and foot. That's what we did. So if you didn't like it, we fight.
But there's a lot of fighting. There's a lot of fighting.
Especially on Friday evening. I think what happened in the week. And then you're waiting for Friday evening to fight because you know.
Carry it over and to fight. We didn't used to, we went home for lunch. We didn't, children who came from far would come with a carrier and so on. But we in the village, because of village school, so we went home back and forth. We went for lunch. And sometimes you go down for lunch, it's fight. You come back up for lunch. You come back up after lunch, it's a fight. Then the fight pour over into you going home, it's fight and so on. Because children settle, and sometimes in those days your parents will tell children, don't take nobody lash. No, it meant that you fight back. If you ain't like what they do or they hit you, you ain't go to parents and so on. You don't take. But nowadays, maybe if a parent says don't take people lash, they don't mean that you must fight back, or maybe you go to the counselor, or you come home and tell me so I could go back in the school and fix them up, and those things. We didn't know these things, right? And these things help to toughen us. So we were producing tough children. Nowadays, you have a lot of little soft children all about it.
Okay, baby. Scholar, let me ask you. You mentioned going back from going home to lunch, and I mean, I recall whatsoever we had for breakfast, usually it was the same thing we got for lunch.
Yeah.
Was that the same with you? What you know it to be?
I can't recall. I can't recall, but it could very well be possible.
Because that answer sounds like you were well off.
No. We were we were not well off at all. I just can't recall that. But I knew we went home for lunch. I can't remember what we ate.
Livingston, hold on, Livingston. We just need to take our last lotto break, and then we coming back. And as a matter of fact, we have someone special is going to be calling in to share some stories with us. So let's just take our final lotto break, and then when we come back, we take it to a next level. Stay with us, folks. We'll be back in just a moment.
Whoa! Did you hear that? The National Lotteries Authority's Lotto jackpot is $246,000. Play Lotto today for chances at winning big. Lotto. Play and win a lot of money.
By now, you should know that the early bird catches the worm. So, what are you waiting for? Put wings to your feet and head to your nearest scratch seller. For every quick sevens scratch ticket you buy at $2, the NLA gives you 7 chances at winning as much as $7,000. Scratch the entire play area for your 7 chances at revealing as much sevens and win the corresponding prizes. Win easy with Scratch. Must be 18 or older to play.
A pleasant evening to everyone. Welcome to the National Lotteries Authority's Lotto Draw number 3110 for today, Friday, September 4th, 2020. I am Anisha Charles. With me this evening is Ms. Makiba Bain from PKF Accountants and Business Advisors, whose purpose is to ensure that this show is conducted in a fair and accountable manner, and the game balls with industry standards and in a way tampered with. At this time, you should have tickets ready because we're about to play for a jackpot of $246,000. But first, your free ticket letter. Good luck. This evening's free ticket letter is, check your tickets in the meantime. Your free ticket letter is H, as in hand. Let's proceed for 5 winning numbers. Good luck. First number this evening is, check your tickets. First number up is 17. Second number is 28. Third number up. Third number is 24, followed by 19. Fifth and final number. Number is 14. Let's recap those numbers. Check your tickets. First number up is 17. The second, 28, followed by 24. Fourth, 19. Fifth and final is 14. So that's 1717, 28, 28, 24, 24, 19, 19, and 14, 14. Your free ticket letter for this evening is H, as in hand. Congratulations to all the winners of this evening's Lotto Draw. Lotto, play and win a lot. Remember to play all the games of the National Lotteries Authority, support sports, culture, and nation building. Thanks for joining us. Have a wonderful evening.
Free groceries for 1 year when you shop at the food fair. Up to $8,400 in groceries. Every $50 spent between June 15th and September 30th gives you the opportunity to enter into the grand prize draw for October 9th, 2020. Third prize, free groceries for 3 months. Second prize, free groceries for 6 months. And the grand prize, free groceries every month for 1 year. There will be exciting giveaways monthly. Food fair, where you can fill your baskets without emptying your pockets. This promotion is sponsored by Food Fair Supermarket, Dutch Lady, Chief, Promo, Danny, and Supreme. Social distancing and hygienic protocols will be maintained at all times.
COVID-19 did not only take lives and affect health, it dealt a severe blow to people's spirit. Shelter-in-place orders meant people were mostly cooped up at home and unable to socialize. All major cultural events were cancelled. And that's our focus on Monday. Join us for Beyond the Headlines as we examine the impact of COVID-19 on our culture. Let's hear from eminent panelists, Lincoln Toro Depredine in Canada, Harold Paisidi in New York, and representatives of the Canada Caravana and the Notting Hill Carnival in London. Beyond the Headlines, Monday night, 8:35. We'll see you then.
Opio.com available at all the outlets, hotspot outlets. You're going to go to the Carnage, the Grenville, or the Sutter's hotspot, and you get sales and deals on all items. You can get these on potato, you can get these on saltfish, onion, garlic, mackerel, toilet paper, and we even have the currants and the raisin at $10 per pound, lowest price island-wide. So people just come down or go up or go across, but just make sure and go to hotspots.
Raise it high up the ladder, let we set it on fire. A little more calypso, forget the funk and the disco. A little more limbo, a little more shango. Find the greasy pole, and we don't dance round the maple.
Welcome back, folks. It's OUI Culture, and of course we into the beautiful school days. Now, guys, we have someone on the line that has some beautiful stories to share with us. So we are going to go to the telephone line now and welcome our special guest. Jojo, good evening. Hello. Hello. Jojo, are you there? All right. Well, she seemed to have left us, so we'd have to try again and continue. So, scholar. Well, let's see if that's trying to get on. OUI Culture. Good evening. Hello.
Hello, Godfrey.
Yes. Good evening, OUI Culture. Hello.
Hello, good night, Godfrey.
Yes, go ahead, please.
It's not Jojo, somebody from St. Patrick.
Okay, go ahead, please.
Godfrey, remember in school, after school over, people had to run to reach home to go and look for mango. You had to save your foot from the hot peach, running from Sotes to come up. And we playing telephone post with telephone post. And what do you think we're doing it with? Lime, I bat, you feel, and had to run to reach the other telephone post before you catch me. And that is how we does walk to reach, we does run to reach up home quick. Because, we have to walk a whole mile and a quarter to reach in Sutter's town. And from that, when you reach home, you change your clothes and you have to cross the river. You're going to look for mango out in the, in the garden next side the river. So when you come next evening, where you have mango to suck. Because you have to cut the mango, you have to get watergrass for pig, and, for fowl and other beasts and things in the yard. And after that, again, you prepare yourself again for homework. And the homework is under, the kerosene lamp. And sometimes you have a torch, you lie down on the floor. And every time you talk, and if you blow it, you out the torch. Because, at that time, people didn't have lamp as now. I'm sure you know that, Godfrey.
Oh, yes, yes, indeed.
And it was good because, his room and hallway lying on the floor in the belly to do the homework. Long division and them kind of a thing like that. And who don't know it, you get in last with the bigger sister. She teaching you how to add, how to subtract, and how to count. But children know, everything's so nice and dandy, but it's not like that. In the early, things change. Things change. And then again, Godfrey, I wonder if you know how to make the roller, the cocoa sucker roller. They get the guava wood, you shape it, you make it.
Yes, indeed. Mm-hmm.
And you play it in the road now. I used to draw the line just as how the road is. You're making curve and short corner, roundabout, because I used to do it too. And nobody couldn't beat me because I could have drive. You had the cocoa stick and you make the roller. You put the thread, one left, one right, and you put the riller thread. In those days, people used to sew, so you get in riller thread to make the wheel to turn, and down on the axle area down there too. You're getting people to do it for you, those who do in China, in the workshop and things like that. And he had a lot of nice, good days.
Yes,
Nice,
indeed.
good days.
All right. Thank you so very much for sharing. We do appreciate. Yes, indeed. Scholar, you were smiling. You seem to remember quite a bit of that.
Good memories. Remember all of that. One of the things that you cannot dismiss, and you must speak about when you're speaking about school days, especially back then, was licks. I mean, licks in itself is a topic in itself, but that was a feature of school days. You had a headmaster, and this is cultural, and it speaks to how all of those old vestiges of slavery. So that's why there was no principal in those days. There was the headmaster.
Headmaster.
That's how he was called. And the headmaster is always a man. I mean, when headmaster come in, you scramble, right? But licks was at all stages. And you could never forget that the headmaster always had a big strap. I don't know the gravity of that Livingston, maybe no, but they say that strap always to get that strap to be real by
you have to soak it in pee.
You have to soak that strap in pee. So he soaked that strap for how long, whatever. And then once the headmaster have a new strap. The first man that takes that strap, that's the name of the strap. I don't know if it was the same thing, but that was the name of the strap.
Yes.
So when you get licks afterwards, you get a taste of Livingston if Livingston the first man strap.
All right.
And I mean, every child had that experience of licks in school. And when you got licks in school, not like now, you leave and you go home by your parents, and then your parents come in the school to want to beat principal and beat teacher. You ain't going home, because if you go home,
you get your second dose.
Let me tell you all about that.
Clean it up.
Licks. When I was at Anglican school, yes, there was a headmaster, and the belt was called Tommy. And Tommy used to be passing around on his shoulder.
On his shoulder.
Yes. So, yeah, that was an experience. When you get sent to the headmaster, you have no chances that it's licks you're going to get. And that used to be one kind of experience. But I remember my mother told us stories. Scholars spoke about how fights used to happen. My mother practically, I've summarized it up as she went to school to fight. Not to do anything else. Just
to fight.
So she was at the Anglican school where she used to be fighting so much. She actually, when she got in so much trouble, she transferred herself to the Catholic school because of the fighting. Yeah? And then the whole thing about the principal, what made her transfer herself, is because when the principal beat her, and as far as she's concerned, it was for no reason, and she goes home, complain to her grandmother about it. Her grandmother would tell her, next time he put it on your shoulder, and he tell you to do something about it, take it and beat him with it. And she did just that. And when she went home, she got more licks. After taking the advice, and she do what her grandmother said, she got more licks when she went home. So she transferred herself after. So licks was a big thing, and the fighting was a big thing. I remember where you had this thing where you put a leaf on your shoulder and and a paper. And fight starting because you throw down my leaf or my paper on my shoulder. And just for that, no reason. People just used to fight. You know?
I don't know if you remember, but we at some point we had the devised a plan for because we were upstairs and then the headmaster was downstairs. So when you had to get licks, they send you downstairs by the headmaster. But we had devised a plan. I don't know if you remember in Livingston. Once now there were two stairs, one right, one left. So we would take the one to the right. But instead of going down the corridor to the headmaster, we'd go behind the school and go and slap up the wall. When you slap up the wall, your hand get red, You pass by the pipe, you put a little bit of water in your eye, and you go back in the class crying. You get licks.
Well, some people escape that, but remember, some teachers was very, very clear in the instruction what they wanted to do. But let me just say, one of the issues that was prevalent in Tivoli School, we had a group, during those days, there were a lot of more male teachers than now.
Yes.
Like there are some school now, particularly primary school, where you only have 2 and 3 teachers out of a population of 23 and 24, only 2 male teachers. And I personally feel that is abominable. That is really a crime against, the children. We need to have more male teachers in the school. So they're just one class. But apart from that, we had a group of male teachers, the Ferguson, the Mark, the Kachi. Those guys are the Trapper.
Mr. Taylor. Remember Mr. Taylor?
But he had a core group of teachers, those I name, that would look out for the bad boys that would go and hide, those that were hiding in Canhook. And they would make sure that people like Mark and them used to bring them home, even over the weekend. But Godfrey, we heard stories like in Grenville with Rabo, even around carnival time.
Yes.
Children that was misbehaving. When they come in the school and Rabo see them in Grenville and they behaving bad in Grenville, once they come in the school, they get disciplined.
Yeah.
So, so I was surprised when Reece talked about the advice that grandmother gave, because the teacher then had a kind of not a posture, a sort of kind of a power, a sort of authority. So when the teacher spoke, when the teacher implemented some rule or some licks, you dare not go and batter the teacher or the principal, because they were looked upon as somebody that was always, not always the truth, but they were looked upon as some people that were always working in your favor or for your good.
The Livingston, if you notice, based on what I said, that was a bit of sarcasm there. She told her, next time the teacher the principal put the belt on her shoulder and tell her to do something about it, beat him with it. She wasn't supposed to take that advice.
But I want to come in. Livingston, you mentioned something, and I want to talk to Scholar about it, because Scholar, as a little fella, you were a shotney. And Livingston mentioned about people like Robbo, the late Robbo, if you saw children misbehaving. Now, as a little fella played shotney, how did that work for you in school? Did it work for or against you in school?
One of the times I remember that stayed with me. I mean, there were times in school that stayed with me, right? So, for example, the same skip I skipped myself was a bad thing I do in the end, because I reached in standard 5. We used to do scholarship during that time. You're doing scholarship either in standard 5 or in standard 6. When I reached in standard 5, I was too young. So I had to sit it out. So I ended up in standard 6 by a fella at that time they called Raybon. We used to call him Rabies. Now that alone should tell you how that man bad, right? I mean, people didn't want to go to this guy. I mean, this was one of the most feared teachers in that common endurance class. I remember my first day in Rabies class, and they say, well, we have to draw a map of the world. I try and make a map, but you know the map and you say draw what you see. You know the map that like a twist and thing. So if the man say if you see 3 twists, don't put food. But you know as children you see a 3 twist, you put a sum. Boy, and the man come and watch it thing and he say erase that. By first time I heard that word in my life, I don't know what to do. And as fast as I'm thinking about it, by blows, erase that. And me, I know what to do, and blows. So a little girl sitting by me, her name was Janice. She had repeated that class. I don't know how she make it, because she repeated about class. I mean, you have to bad. So she had repeated that class, so she tell me, well, I mean, rub it off. Well, he forget me, And he started to tie on Janice because she shouldn't tell me anything. And let me work it out for myself, right? So fellas, I know people, guys who was in this man's class and leave to go to school. And when you reach halfway and you remember you bond up there waiting for you. You barely you don't go back, you know, some sickness
you getting sick.
Boarding up there, right? I mean, this was, but in terms of his effectiveness, I mean, when you pass through one class, I mean, if you ain't pass the common entrance, you ain't in it, right? Yeah. Now, we had a principal, I ain't gonna call his name, but he's a good partner. He calls on your program all the time.
Right.
And mind you, I held that against him for a long time. I used to watch that man and devise ways how I would do to kill him. Because until I became a teacher and I realized by principals and teachers, sometimes you get into situations where you have to make decisions. And sometimes you make decisions based on the information that you had. Now, during those days, we February, March was carnival. So we used to practice with little shotney and thing in school. Practicing with little shotney and thing at night, we go in the pasture, we practice and then we make a tram come down. But on that same night, some people peeled stone on top of the school. And one girl go and tell the principal, it's me and my boys that peeled stone on the school. Boy, I get much that day.
You eat licks?
I eat licks that day because, and every time I say, well, I don't know, not we are doing blows. And he say, as long as I'm come clean, I get him blows. And I want to say, well, it's me because, but I can't say it because it's not us. And I get blows almost the whole day for something that I never did. And it is something that I've never forgotten. And I'll tell you, I used to devise ways in the head. I could do that, man.
But scholar, you could choose to plead the fifth. You could choose to plead the fifth. But who is Donkey Duncan?
Fifth? Huh?
You could choose to plead the fifth. Well, who is Donkey Duncan? Because I'm looking at the Facebook contributors here. Nigel John said Donkey Duncan.
Nah, it was not Donkey Duncan.
Nah, not at all. He
was not my
no, I have a feeling I know. I have a feeling I know who that principal was, but I can't call name in the mass.
You can't call name in the mass.
No.
He's a good partner, and he's a very, very good partner now because I forgive all that. I became a teacher and I realized he felt that I did it. All things pointed to me, and he just felt that I was lying. And I maintained that lie, and that he had to beat it out of me. But that was how it was in those days. You get it? As how children would go now and tell, this beat me and that beat me. And then parents go up in the school to fight the teacher and so on. Those things never happened in those days. So you take your little licks and you cool it.
And you behave yourself.
You grind in your mind and you decide how you what you could do if you go bossy tire.
I don't recall parents going to school for teacher. I mean, I think I can remember one time with a child who wasn't allowed to go to the toilet and he had diarrhea and he ended up really pooping himself. So that, but other than that, you don't hear about parents going to school for teachers and all on that kind of thing. But we had some haunted students involved. I remember one named Stone Man. So I say no more. When you beat him, he went outside of that school and he stoned.
Stoned the school.
Stoned in school, stoning teacher.
I think he had that in our school.
Yes, but
we had a few.
No, I want to share some things with you all. Now, someone sent me something on the WhatsApp, and they said here, my headmaster, Mr. Palmer, had 2 straps, the junior and senior conqueror. Now, that's what they did for the straps. He said his words during administering discipline, he uses words while administering discipline. He said, I have tamed lions and tigers. Who are you? Now, let's see. There's some more, right? There's a bit more information here. Teasing was always part of school days. Names like Red Ants, Crazy Lucy, Sophie, Estone Bruce, Miss Britain Donkey, 32 one foot bin. Walter Dunn. No. One teeth muffin. Spanato. One Tete Mary. No. No. I don't know if these people are wrong, but I'm just look, guys. I'm just sharing with you some stories from some of our listeners, right? There's another one that said in school one had to write 100 times first offense, up to 1,000 times. Also, you had to stand up and look outside the class for about an hour, and those were all part of the disciplinary measures that were taken. Nowadays, those things don't happen. But let's go to the telephone. It has been going for quite a while. Let's see who is with us. OUI Culture, good evening. Okay, well, we lost that one. I probably waited a little too long. Let's try again. OUI Culture, good evening.
Hi, good night.
All right, go ahead.
Boy, me don't know any Livingston guy thing, you know. When I come out to school, I have to go and sell bread. I go in right from Godfrey and sell bread before I could go back in command entrance class. Sometimes when I reach in command entrance class, he start already afraid, Rabo. I have to stay outside and hide. And Rabo used to beat any children, you know, REC, convent, any children Rabo see in the road and he lives. Rabo used to be down to the cleaner and all, you know, already dedicate me statue. When carnival Wednesday morning and you go to school, Rabo there in the gate waiting for you with the green shirt. And Rabo leaving the children home and he beating the children more bad than other people's children. He leaving them home, you know. He coming down with the car number 25. Pack up in the school yard and he a big strap in the bottom gate there. He locking the top gate. And he beating down to the cleaner and all the school don't clean good. The lady used to cry, you know. I see that lady cry with fresh calling she knows already, you know. First Rabo the bad, you know. When Rabo don't beat you, you hands swell. That's delicate child abuse. You hands swell. You have to run. I didn't used to go to school on Friday, you know. Friday was Spanish. And you can't make a mistake in front of the office. Staying home and help in the bakery, joke me wood, joke Michelle, and I don't go to school on Friday. That time you don't have to bring excuse nothing. So I stayed home and work on Friday because lashing Spanish class on Friday. So that's why you see I can't speak Spanish. But I like the burger rice.
All right, thank you very much. Yes.
I was saying before she go, one day she remember she squared up with you in the story.
She said no. When she opened, she said she had no way you got your thing you're saying there. Let's go back to the telephone. OUI Culture, good evening.
Gentlemen.
Good evening. Go ahead, please.
Is everybody okay? Yeah, the thing a while ago, there is some St. George's muffin and them some from Tongue in any case, you know, all Duna and them some St. George's Springs and River Road and thing in any case, you know. I believe from St. Patrick in the days gone by, you know, our school time, we used to go to ever see movie and thing in the days gone by besides Grenville Cinema, you had movies to watch in the Forester Court on a Sunday. We used to come on a Friday night and a Saturday and a Sunday, matinee time. And when you go and watch football again in Montcraven Pass, your boss man, he's fighting in Lagoon Road, you know, in Lagoon and thing, Lagoon Mouth, you know. The men blocking you from there and his rocky day, you know, his fight starting one time. But you know what days gone by was nice, and I could tell you about that. Nice days, man. We had a good time. We used to make all kind of things making. I could make all kind of things still, play all kind of games still, I mean, although I'm in age now, but I mean, the days gone by was real nice. I had master, you know, what school, Mr. Mac and them. And teacher Crafton, and them used to beat up and not at all beat up. But they didn't beat nobody, they didn't beat big children, only beat football children. So I met him a day, when I went up St. Patrick a day, and I said, Crafton, why is the big children in school name is going by for the loan? He said, he met it, he said, I said, no, that was slavery and thing, man. He beat him across the back and thing, all kind of hand and thing, pelting behind you, pelting chuck behind you, duster behind you and thing, in them days gone by. You know what I mean? But we learn a lot from what we go through in life in any case. But if the children these days could play as we play in our time, I feel it'll be much healthier and they will live long.
All right, thank you very much indeed, caller. You know, as he mentioned about playing, no, that was a significant part of school days, especially primary school. I mean, you playing from, any little chance you get, even if you're in class, you're playing.
Yeah.
Scholar, tell me about your playing days.
Well, you went to school basically. Reece said mother said she go to school to fight. You went to school to play, right? And any chance that you get is play. So you had all kind of games for all kind of different times. So marble was a popular one. Before you go up early in the morning, and before bell ring, everybody play. Now, when bell ring, everybody grab. that is to bring fight. Because the marble are them set in the ring. And bell ring, you don't know who marble, everybody grab. And they run. You have marble, you have talk, you have the normal games that we play now. And then boys have their own games, girls have their own games. So girls
I just want to ask Kala, you know what they call cat and mouse?
Oh, you mean cat and mouse starvation and go for it, yes. As a matter of fact, we played that with teachers. That was an organized one.
Yeah.
So sometimes in the evening you go outside and you make this big ring and you run up and down the place, cat and mouse, one is cat and one is mouse and so on.
But
so you had those organized games and then you had those unofficial impromptu things that and you played all kind of, playing was just a normal, natural part of school.
Scholar, what was the word? Cat and mouse?
Starvation.
Well, we used to sing starvation.
It doesn't matter anything.
Starvation.
I was never able to figure out what it was. Whether it was salvation or starvation.
No, it's starvation.
Starvation, I think, was.
Yeah, but we used to sing starvation.
Yeah.
I was never able to figure out what it was, but it was one of them. One of them.
But scholars speak about there were boy games and there were girl games. The girl games, cocking, round doves. Who could jump and open their legs wide, the widest?
That's a game?
Remember that? Yeah, cocking. The ball, you hit the ball against the wall, the person has to run and jump and make sure that the ball does not hit them and that kind of thing. It was called round doves.
Yeah, I know round doves.
Right, but we used to call that cocking. And there was Chinese skip.
I know about moral and
onesie.
And moral and onesie.
Onesie and moral. Right. You call these games traditional games now because our children hardly play these things. They don't know that. They know tablets and computer games.
Yes.
That's what they know. So today, traditional games are set up in parks and when you go to like exhibitions or festivals where people can get older folks can relieve their moments of having played traditional games. That's what it is now. But Godfrey, our viewers on Facebook are feeling left out. They're asking me to tell you to say their comments because they're contributing.
Right. I have to get my producer on the other side to arrange that for me because I'm actually hosting from the classic studio. So Facebook viewers, I do apologize. We're going to work on that. And soon enough, we're going to have all of that taken care of. But Livingston, earlier you mentioned about false names and how people got false names. You want to tell us how they start calling you pumpkin?
Hey, Godfrey, don't start now. I have a false name for you. You know it. I know you don't want me to say it.
You could say it. I get over that. Tell us how you get it in pumpkin.
No, I think there was a guy that from mountain area that was a cricketer, very, very fast bowler. And I started to play cricket, and they thought I was as fast as Pumpkin, or my movement, or my action, my bowling action was as good as his.
Well,
was at Pumpkin.
You know, let me tell you something. I never knew Pumpkin was any fast bowler. The problem with Pumpkin was Pumpkin would run up, and the man would jump as if he doing high jump. So by the time he hit the ground, the ball coming up like a spinner. And Livingston, when he bowling, he used to jump high like Pumpkin, and the ball ain't going nowhere.
Listen, I used to open bowl for Tivoli A team. So
well,
that meant I had to have speed, and Tivoli was no low class cricketer.
Well, I agree.
But Godfrey, coming back on false name, it was deliberate. Children used to look for the slightest thing.
Yes.
You name a close item you weigh, the food you bring,
anything.
Something about they knew about your mom, something you knew about your dad, your brother, where you live. So almost everybody went with a false name. And when Scholar was talking about some of the teachers, and he mentioned a false name to a teacher, we had a series of false names for teachers that we consider to be brutal.
Mm-hmm.
One of the callers mentioned about child abuse. Of course, that took place in our time. So viewers, we're not saying that everything was perfect. We're not just glorifying. Some of it was real abuse. I mean, you know, some teachers could have been a little bit more caring, you know. But anyway, the point we're making that we used to look, all of them had a name that we would call behind the back.
Yeah, you can call them that in front of them. You can say that in front of them.
Some of the elders in society, you know, some of the elders in society, we would call them. For a matter of fact, I think one day we just have to do a program on false name and say on false name, because there's so much going around with false name that I think we should do that.
Yes,
and just to be clear, Livingston, false name is the same as nickname, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Well, right, yes.
Okay.
Let's
something I want to talk about. You remember when we go to school, there were those racial teasing that happened. Yes. We had a song for our Indian sisters and brothers. They had a song for.
According to the Prime Minister, don't go there.
Don't go there.
No, we're not gonna say it and sing
because it's true. It's true.
But it's a fact. It is a fact that this happened during our time. I don't hear about it now. You know, but they had songs for us and we had songs for them, and
well, that's because children they don't know their songs. They don't know their songs.
No, they don't.
Let's go back to the telephone again and see who's with us. We Culture, good evening. Oh boy, we lost that one again. All right, 435-2041. Let's try again. We Culture, good evening.
Good evening, Mr. Godfrey, and your guest.
Yes, good evening, my dear. We tried to hook you up earlier, and I don't know what happened.
I thought for a moment you were setting me up.
No.
Watch me, Scholar is my boy, you know. You can't treat me bad when Scholar around, you know. Oh, Bonji, let me just say that. The next thing you see a dog in behind him.
Tell us your story, my dear. I know you have a lot, and folks, coming from Ladig, you can just imagine. Go ahead, my love.
Yes, well, okay. For me, with school, I am town and country. I had primary days in the country and secondary school in town. Now, I am from a big family, double figures. So I mustn't always tell you my mother business and my father business, but a big family and all of us one face, whap. So, and we most of us, we like 2 years apart, almost 2 years apart, you know. So there are some of us that may look like twins, but there are no twins. And so because I'm from Ladig, people would mix me up with the one who is a little older than I am that went to SAS, but I went to Anglican High School, all because in those days they had scholarship.
Right.
and I passed this scholarship, and I also passed school even because I went just to keep a child company, and I got the 2 scholarships, so I could have chosen my school, and I picked Anglican High School. So I was down here long, since in the 60s. Right. But I'm listening, and I'm really, really going back in time, because it seems that you all, much younger than I am, but got a taste of the good old days. Yes, because a lot of things that you all saying, for example, Scholar was talking about ABC and Prima and First Standard and thing. That's what I knew too. But for children before, because you started school at 5, well, 4 plus, depending on the month you were born. So before that, there were some people in the village that had what we knew as private school. Right. So there was Teacher Lilac in St. James, and there was my mother in Ladigue, and there was another lady, Sammy Andrews, and them grandmother had a school too. Right. So those private schools will take care of children before they reach the age to go into primary school, because children had to go to school. Now, it's too bad that parents never explained to children why they had to go to school. It almost looked like parents wanted to cool their head. So I'm marching him to the schoolhouse. Go on, you have to go. So hence the reason why we were so prepared for back to school, because like gripe was a thing in primary days. You know, you get a gripe, you eat too gru-gru, you get a gripe. You eat too much cereal, you get a gripe. So when you're home on August holiday, you're going below all kind of tree, you eat all kind of governor plum, this, that, pardon, but you eat too many fruits. So now you end up now, the parents will say, they're not seeing it as good vitamins and things, they're seeing that old thing in your stomach. And they're afraid they're going to get gripe and things during the term and have to stay home. A child having to stay home used to be like a burden to the parents. You have to go. You have to go to school. So the parents would give you a cleanse. Okay? So in primary days, in my primary days, in Ladigue there were a lot of us, A lot of them move into town now. I know them in town now, but a lot of them originate in Ladigue. So the group was big, and we used to plan what day, after the holidays and so, what day we going down to the surgery, right? Today it's the health center. But you go down to the surgery to get your castor oil and vermifuge, and you line up one vial, everybody drinking vomit, no germs. One vial. You line up, an Indian man. I wonder if he was a Mr. Harford. I'm not sure. But an Indian man. And he stand up there, he ain't making joke. If you're afraid, get out of the line. Right. And he hold your nose, and he lean back your head, and he pour down that vial, a tall glass, Papa. But that is how they used to call it, the vial. And then there was a dentist that used to come up. And Papa, that dentist only know to extract. In those days, it's to extract. So you had to go now to inspect your mouth, because you must remember, you must not get sick during the term to miss school. So they're looking, they examine your teeth, say, oh, I think I will take out that one here, and I will take out that one. All of us end up now with dentures here and there, because in those days they're not filling. And my dear, one needle. Sometimes my brother in front of me in the line, he said, Lord, the needle bend. One needle. He inject about 5. He say, go outside. Right. And you go outside, your mouth get dead, heavy, your tongue, you feel you chew on your tongue. Everything get dead, all by your eyes dead. And then you come back and he pull out. And you're gone. So back to school, you had to prepare health-wise, and then you had to prepare, your little shoes and thing. Well, we run down by Batter. There was a man called Dean and a woman called Miss Nichols, nice Douglas lady. And she gone and she say, how much money mommy give you? And you open your hand, and she say, all right, put on these socks. You dare not try on the people's shoes bare feet. So you put on the socks, and she said, come by here. And you try on either your little ballerina or your little, the ballerina made with velvet. It had, one used to mark CEBO inside, CEBO, yeah. And you get a little shoe for school and thing. Now, also, the uniform, they were not strict about uniform in the 60s. Go to school. Whatever clothes you had, wear it and go to school. Right. So if you had no shoes, you went barefooted. If you had the uniform was navy blue skirt and white shirt. But primary school skirt was a cheap little polyester thing that didn't so hold up for long. So, you start off Monday looking sharp, but by Wednesday you have on your ordinary clothes again, and so. But there was a man in Grenville also, a tailor, I must remember, Sinez. When I moved on to high school, and I had now my good expensive skirt, hard to iron. So secondary children used to go down by Sinez to pleat the skirt. Some people used to call him Sayo. His tailor shop was near by the cinema in Grenville. So you went down there and you're waiting. He tell you come back next week Wednesday. When you go Wednesday, he say come back Friday. Okay, but you eventually get your skirt and you're ready for school. Primary school days, you pack your pleats and you put it under the cushion in the drawing room chair. And everybody sitting down on it and think, and skirt well pleat. Yeah. So what else you want to hear now, Mr. Godfrey?
We wanted to get, well, of course, the experience of going to school first day. As a child, you just entering school, how it was.
You mean in ABC?
Well, ABC, yes, stage 1, stage 2, thereabout.
Okay. Well, we were living almost in the schoolyard when I started school. So you could have stayed home and just drum the drain and you reach in the schoolyard. Right. And ABC, well, you started off school. Remember, you had to graduate into certain things. And I don't know how Scholar and Livingston didn't say that yet. But maybe that was before their time. But even underpants, little boys didn't used to wear underpants. You had to graduate to certain things. So when I started school, you started with your slate. No, you kneel down on the floor. You rest the slate on the bench because they had benches. And you kneel down on the floor and you're writing. No, there was a man in the village. The village, again, was well organized. Horses for courses. It had different people. It had a tailor. You get a old pants leg and you bring it by him, those boys, and he cut it and he make a school bag for them with a long handle. I heard them talking about shoulder. Jola. Mm-hmm. Well, somebody tell me they show that was patois for shoulder bag because it had a long strap. They used to put it bias. Those boys used to put it kind of bias across their shoulder. But the tailor in the village would make that with a pants leg. Mm-hmm. Right. They had the shoemakers. Then they had Mr. Willie who used to rule the slates. So he'd take a nail and he would draw lines and so that you had the lines to write, one side to write and one side was to do sums and things. Right, because in those little early days, just those two things you're concentrating on, and then a lot of art. The school used to provide the paper and whatnot and so, and you had a lot of art. The school provided the crayons, the color chalks, and all that. So, and lunchtime again, they gave a cup of hot milk and 4 biscuit. Now, I heard Reece talk about the river milk, right? So that means she born just the other day because she grew up on Bishop Free Milk, BFM. But before that, there was a drier milk. We used to call it dry milk. Mm-hmm. If you teeth that, it tying up in the top of your mouth. Right. So the bigger girls, the ABC teacher used to at one time now leave the children to do craft and art and so on and so on. You know, you have those people, they might cut squares into 4 pieces and you have to put it back together and all that. They leave you to play that, and she gone in the kitchen. And, you know, my prima teacher is still alive, teacher Lewis. She's still alive. She's in her 90s, so she's still alive. So if you don't like my handwriting, in those days, the teacher held your hand. The teacher held your hand, and that's how they taught you to write. And also to read. They said, say after me. So they read a line, and they say after me, and you said it. So you're not paying attention. You can't find the word. You ain't watching the word. You're saying what you hear, what you heard the teacher say. You repeat. So you could have said the whole story after a while, but you can't spell one word. You're getting spellings wrong. So I'm just showing you how education has evolved and so on. But I must agree, too, that there was a level of cruelty. But it was because big people had ways of staying in control. They want to be in control, so they would do anything to be in control. So there were times in Holy Innocent School when a child would do so badly in maybe a little test or so, and the headmaster would ring the bell to call attention. It was an open school, and stand up on the stage and read out the thing. And, you know, the poor child want to die. You want to die, but you dare not go home and tell. You have to forget that. You know, I got my head buzzed by a teacher. My mother gave us soursop leaf tea. Now, today, you know, soursop leaf would put you to sleep. But in those days, you don't know, so you drink that. You reach to school. By 10 o'clock, you're sleepy. I bow down my head. Whoop! She peeled the duster, and she bust my head. By the time school finished, children saying, go and tell your mother, go and tell your mother. By the time I run down, she in the drawing room, sit down there with mommy, long time. She reached down. So, but it had a measure of cruelty, and as I say, I don't believe that they were doing it on purpose. It was just probably, I'm not making excuses, but in hindsight, it looked like they wanted to be in control at all times. So you had to have respect. Now, there were times when the school inspector used to come up. So they would announce tomorrow the school inspector, what was that Bajan man name again? Anyhow, he would be coming up to the school. So everybody comb their hair. All boys comb their hair. If you have shoes, put on your shoe for tomorrow. And if you have uniform, put on your uniform. So when the man come, he would see everything nice. If you're so brave and you're reaching the school before the inspector reach and your fingernails dirty and thinking, you gone on the pipe stand, they're chasing you. Go and wash your hands, because you never know which child or which class the inspector would choose to come and chat.
All right. Jojo, it's a pity. It's almost wrapping time. I had to cut you. Yeah.
I understand.
So, thanks a lot for sharing with us. It was indeed a pleasure.
Right.
All the best. Yes, indeed. Yeah. Quite some stories there, guys, from a different area. Some of the things we are able to relate to. Some again pretty new. And you know, as we keep saying, wherever you go, you would find some little difference in the way things are done, you know. So very, very, very interesting. Guys, we getting close to wrap up time. So let's see if we can do some final wrapping up. Livingston?
Yeah, Godfrey, I just wanted to say one thing. As Jojo was kind of wrapping up there, I believe the whole idea that society is evolving. And I believe handing down from slavery, the level of control that was there, the colonialism, etc. And so I think the principals, the teachers, the whole idea was to impart that knowledge, and that was the structure they knew. And it's only evolving society would soften the approach. So I think what you happening now is a softening of what was there yesteryear. Maybe too much, letting go now for some people. But I think the intention generally was to have a group of persons that are disciplined, that would be totally obedient to the call, to the cause, at all time, and that was the motive of most of the teachers. Of course, there are one or two bad. But just coming back to say to the program, there's a lot that needs to be said. There's a lot more people have to contribute to what we are doing. And as I said from last week, I would want to reiterate, because I think it's very important, that let us have a conversation about what make us, what make us a unitary body in Grenada in particular, what bind our culture, whether you're from St. George's, whether you're from the west, whether you're from the north or the east of the island. There are certain commonality that we can all relate to that would make us know that we are in one ship at that same time.
Yes, indeed. Skulls.
Yeah, well, I want to say, Godfrey, that we're speaking about our culture, and we're speaking about things from way back when. And funny enough, we are doing it using modern means. And so we have, there is also a culture with this modern means, right? So I think I saw Reece said that your Facebook, we have to cater for our Facebook people. They say you have to, the modern thing is you have to share the live.
Share the live, yes.
Share the thing. That's the modern way, right? So we have to cater for these modern people. I want to also, before we close, I want to infuse some I don't want to call it controversy, but probably a different way of looking at it, and maybe give a historical perspective to this whole thing of the flagging and what have you, right? I think that in many ways, white people had done a number on us. They did it during slavery, and up to today, they're still doing it. And we're not even aware that they're doing it. So that's why we had all the headmasters and teachers were beating. I mean, Livingston kind of alluded to it. And you had the control, because that was what we knew. That was what they were patterning after the master. Remember, master, you see your headmaster is close to master, and master is a master, right? And that was how they maintained discipline. That was how they got people to work, the big stick approach. And so we took that big stick approach with us once slavery left. We took that big stick approach because that was how we believed was the right way to do it. That was what we knew. That was what we saw. That was what they worked on us. And so we took that. And we never really established something that was our own. And so, as Livingston said, maybe we have gone too far. We have. And we have gone too far because of white people again. Because the very thing that they said and they showed us during slavery, they came back and they did all their research and they write book and all this kind of thing. And they now talk about abuse and bullying and all of those things. And yet again, we have bought into this thing, and we have gone from one extreme to totally a different extreme based on their say-so. So they have always controlled our narrative, and they have always decided what culturally is best for us to do with our children and how we discipline them and so on. So on the one end, they said, beat, and we did that. And on the next end, they say, no, beat. If you beat, you are criminal, you are what, you are this, you are that. And you have to suffer and you have to counsel. And I mean, nowadays, we do not counsel and all these things and psychologies. And you think children to cope and soft skills and so on. They wrote those things in books, and we are again buy into them. And we've gone far overboard without getting someplace that is uniquely ours. And how we discipline our children our way.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
And how do we do that?
How do we what?
How do we strike that balance between what we were taught and what we have been what's been taught now?
Well, after some time, right? We saw the kind of letting go of all of this. So all of the bad blows and things started to kind of soften up, right? And we started to go kind of middle of the way. We started to create something that was kind of ours. and then we gone over on the next side, right? It is very tough when you think of it to really create something, because unknowingly to us, we have been fashioned, and our whole thought process and our actions have been fashioned, not by us, but by other people, and we just pattern after it. And we need to create our own. And probably this is the essence of what we're doing here now, to shine a light, a spotlight on those things. So probably we could see it will be tough. It will be tough because right now you have people that will kill you really for all of those counseling things and so on, and all the books and so on that are written. But it's just them taking us to a place that was totally opposite. And I don't think that
not just opposite, alien to us.
Reece, let's just get some thoughts on you as we close.
I'd like to support a lot of what Scholar would have said. It seems like, it's in our DNA, because from slavery, it's almost like we were forced to do things, and we were forced to be things. Even I consider myself to be a modern day parent, whereby I talk a lot. But even in talking and explaining and, telling your child about the importance of school and why is it that we make sacrifices and how far you can go and about having a balance and all of that, even when you become frustrated as a parent, sometimes you're ready to lash out. Like literally, it's like, I'm showing you this over and over and over, and it's like you're not listening, you're not focusing, you need to focus. And we find ourselves back to that point where we are no longer talking, and it's like, you kind of have to beat the person to learn, so it's sort of in our DNA, and we really have to try to flip the script. As Scholar rightly said, it's like they've taken us from so many extremes, and you really have to strike a balance. Someone spoke earlier, I think it was Livingston, about how, back in the day, teachers were not, they didn't mean bad when they did what they did. They did not mean bad. And up to this day, I am a firm believer of that. I have had 3 children, and they've gone to school, and I've seen teachers parents going for teachers, cussing, want to fight, going to court, like all sorts of things I've seen happen where parents and teachers are concerned. And my kids know we're open, so you can come and tell me what happened in school today, because I need to know, you need to share, and I will give you that listening ear. But they do not come with the feeling that they're coming to a parent that is ready to buy into their story and run with it. I listen objectively, and 99% of the time, you are wrong. Take your licks, whatever. Even if a teacher misunderstood, like in Scholar's case, where with the stoning of the school and all that, I tell the teachers, do not call me to tell me about what Nala Sekou earlier did. Call me and tell me what they did and what you did. Because if you didn't tell me what you did, me and you will fight. Your second mother, deal with this. And I rest my case there. Deal with this.
Guys, this is opening up a can of worms, because look, I would love to respond to you guys on this, but that is about 3, 4, 5 programs in itself. Because if we start delving into that, then you want to look at backgrounds, you want to look at all different things. The whole psychology for makeup again, and Scholar might argue, well, this is what they have put in books, and this is what they have taught us. So it is a very complicated thing. But I have to agree that at some point we have to find our own, and design our methods that suits us best. And so we all can benefit from what belongs to us and not just from what has been handed down. If you're going to live your life, as they say, OPL or HMD, hand me down, or you work based on other people's labor, you're going to always be that way. you know, and people would create your own culture for you, and so you would always be led, and that is a problem. That is a problem. And again, this is why I think what we're doing here is so important, to expose what was, and to open up that path so people can see how we got to where we are.
Right.
And at that point, we can then make a determination as to where do we go from here. What do we do? You know, I want to thank you guys so much, you know, for the contribution, for being here with me on a Friday evenings, you know, to discuss these issues. They were wonderful days. I mean, there's so much me and Livingston could talk about in Tivoli School. You know, Tivoli is a very unique place. Very unique. You know, and I guess Scholar would say the same thing about Shantimel, and Reece would say the same about Guave, you know? And that's what makes us a unique people. So we have to continue to work and do what we have to do. And so I know we have a huge audience out there. We're going to continue to take the contribution. And folks, we're going to share the live. We're going to share the live. That's kind of new for me, you know, but
you need to share the live.
We're going to share the live. We're going to share the live. You know, we're going to definitely share the live. So guys, once again, thank you so very much. And I look forward to next week as we move on to our next topic.
Yeah.
Definitely. All the best. Thanks again.
All right.
Bye, everyone.
Yeah.
No, there's really this subculture, or this maybe this sub language that is.
Free groceries for 1 year when you shop at the food fair. Up to $8,400 in groceries. Every $50 spent between June 15th and September 30th gives you the opportunity to enter into the grand prize draw for October 9th, 2020. Third prize, free groceries for 3 months. Second prize, free groceries for 6 months. And the grand prize, free groceries every month for 1 year. There will be exciting giveaways monthly. Food fair, where you can fill your baskets without emptying your pockets. This promotion is sponsored by Food Fair Supermarket, Dutch Lady, Chief, Promo, Danny, and Supreme. Social distancing and hygienic protocols will be maintained at all times.
At Communal, we are adapting to meet the changing needs of our shareholders and members. Times are changing, and with the changing times comes a whole new way to do business. Our parents may have done their banking a different way. Communal's state-of-the-art online banking and international debit card allows members to do business with great ease. It's like literally having a branch in your very own hands. Need a loan? Apply online from the comfort of your own home anywhere in the world, and your request will be dealt with remotely. Want to transfer between your accounts or another shareholder? No wait time for transactions to update. Voila! Who needs receipts when you can receive them via e-statements on your mobile device and save the environment? Not a Communal member? You can join our family today by applying online. At Communal, we see you working hard to ensure that you save, invest, and grow. Communal, join us today. This will be the best financial decision you have ever made. My name is Hollis Mr. Killer Map, and I endorse this message.
It's new, innovative and classy, and a cut above the rest. Your one-stop shop for bathtubs, kitchenware, customized doors and windows, and even a new paint job. We also sell quartz and solid surface countertops. At M&N Hardware, we offer best prices, excellent service, efficiency, and reliability. Visit us at Dusty Highway, Grandin, St. George, or call telephone number 440-6757. M&N Hardware, from foundation to roof. Let's build together.
Raise it high up the ladder, let we set it on fire. Give me some fire. A little more calypso, forget the funk and the disco.